Hi there, I'm John Tanner, Global Technology Editor for Telecom Asia. As you can see, we're here at the WDM and Next Generation Optical Networking APAC event here in Singapore. And we're going to go inside and we're going to ask people what they think is the biggest issue facing Next Generation Optical. So let's go inside.
Well, there's a lot of discussion here about core networks moving to sort of 400 gig, terabit, things like that in the future. And I think from our perspective, from Transmo's point of view, there's a lot of work needs to be done still in the metro network of how do you fill those pipes in a very economic way and very easy and scalable way. So I've just presented on a sort of packet optical story where we go right from the edge through to the core with very small demarcation devices at the edge, handing over to 100 gig. Ready for handoff to the core, and sort of combining the whole thing as a sort of unified packet optical proposition. So hopefully the audience found that interesting, I hope. And that's one of the big issues we see, is sort of lots of talk about big fat pipes, but how do you fill them?
I'm sort of quite, maybe not surprised, but what I'm seeing is a maturing industry right now, and I'm seeing fairly good agreement among most of the participants in terms of the evolution of the network. Clearly we've achieved in terms of higher speed transmissions, 100G transmission, and people are talking about getting to the next stage of transmission, such as 400G and 1 terabit per second. And we're all talking about similar types of visions and directions in terms of how we're going to get there, and also in terms of some of the steps along the way in terms of, say, adaptive rates, where we're able to trade off performance for distance as an example of that. One of the other topics that's beginning to be broached a bit more in the particular room is software-defined networks, or SDN, which is still very much at the early stage of the industry, but we haven't really seen sort of detailed solutions for that yet. I think people are agreeing that's probably one of the next big steps that we have to take, but it's sort of still taking baby steps right now in terms of how we're getting there.
As of now, the thing is that the operators, especially the telecom operators, facing a challenge in terms of generating the internal revenue to deploy the next generation solutions. I have been seeing across the globe, we have been then in Latin and Europe, the only challenge is the money constraints. So that is the thing. Moreover, there is a demand for the traffic from the back end, and they are very much eager to shift the traffic paradigm of traffic on the 400G or maybe 800G. The only challenge is the money, revenue thing. That is the thing.
I think the biggest issue is when the customer gets the highest bandwidth from the WDM layer, how they can make the network and the traffic much more efficiency, or reduce by efficiency the network utilizations, reduce the OPEX or CAPEX for the applications. So this, I would say, this is the main concern from the operator side, driven from the application business into the network cost, and with the new technologies enabled with a high bandwidth, but then also from the vendor side, which equipment can be provided when definitely we're going to provide the highest capacity of the boxes. But how to use the boxes, how you help your end users to use the boxes is the question.
I think there's an interesting mix of people here at the show. We're seeing some that are on the verge of transitioning to 100 gig, and some that have deployed 100 gig and are looking at what's next beyond 100 gig. So a lot of interesting discussions around how to adopt technology that's maturing, and then how to adopt technology that's kind of cutting edge.
Okay, now in terms of 100G, it's been said that that's really kind of gone mainstream now. Is that what you're saying as well?
I'd have a different opinion. I think that 100 gig is certainly deployed. I would say that the cost component of 100 gig is still too high, and that by driving down the cost and making it easier to get into 100 gig technology, that we will see a much broader deployment of 100 gig.